Controlling recoil is one of the most important things you can do in a first-person shooter game. Even in Call of Duty, where aiming and recoil is easier to handle than almost any other game out. However, it still takes some time to get used to it and to learn how to control your recoil well. I get called a hacker often due to my gun's recoil being so smooth. People think I either have a Cronus or some sort of aimbot. The reason for this is A, because I've been playing Call of Duty for 15 years now, but also B, because Call of Duty recoil is very predictable and very easy to control. The main problem with a lot of people is that they just forget to try to fix it or they overcompensate. Now, I know my last video about the top pro ranked player admitting to cheating may have said otherwise, but sometimes people actually do just have really good aim. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how, and at the end of the video, I will even show you guys my recoil control settings in the controller section, which should help a decent amount. So the first thing to do is find your dead zone. If you need help with that, you can simply go into a private match or the firing range and let go of your controller. And if your controller has any stick drift, then your character will either move by themselves or they'll look up, down, left, right on their own. This means that you need to raise your minimum input dead zone. You can also lower it as long as you have no stick drift. So for example, I have a brand new scuff controller, so my dead zone is 0.02. But my last controller had strong stick drift as it had been heavily used, so my dead zone was turned all the way up to 0.27. If I had it any lower than that, my character was doing donuts spinning around uncontrollably. Now this will depend on you and your controller, so do not listen to anyone when they say that you need to use a certain dead zone to have better aim. You have to find your own. However, the lowest it can go without any stick drift is ideal. Now I'll go ahead and inflate my controller cam on screen so you could really see the exact input of my sticks when I'm aiming. The main thing you'll notice is the minimal effort and input that I give to my right stick, which is the aiming stick. What most people do wrong when they're aiming is they overcompensate. If your gun jumps up when you shoot it, don't pull it all the way back down to fix it. It's less of a pull on the right stick when correcting recoil, and it's more so just applying a slight amount of downward pressure on it. Does that make sense? I mean, I can't stress this enough, but in Call of Duty, most guns have such smooth recoil that you barely have to do anything. So stop overreacting and doing too much. Stop aiming at the moon when someone jumps by you. My general rule of thumb has always been slightly down and to the left. I'm not sure why, but it seems like most patterns of recoil in Call of Duty are up and to the right. So if you, again, I can't stress it enough, and many of you will probably benefit by copying my ADS settings at the end of the video, but if you pull down and to the left very slightly, most guns are straight laser beams already. Now you do have to get your aim right, your centering, etc. And I do have a guide for that in the description and on the screen now if you struggle with your aiming. But as far as recoil control goes, we're going back to the point at hand. Remember, I said it's more of a slight pressure on the stick, slightly down and ever so slightly to the left. Now, if your gun has a different recoil pattern, well then you'll just have to adapt to that. But don't overcompensate anymore. That's why you shoot donuts around people. I know the TAC 56 and Vaznev recoil patterns perfectly, and one easy way to learn the recoil pattern of a gun, a new build, or even a brand new weapon is to head to the firing range and just shoot this door. That's it, just shoot some clips into it without controlling the recoil, and you'll be able to see plain as day what kind of adjustments you should make while aiming in a gunfight. Now, obviously, you can also practice your aim on this door and on the dummies behind you, but you can see the exact recoil pattern just by letting a clip go through the door. Now say it with me one more time, slightly down, slightly down. Do not forget to do this mid-fight when it gets intense and then come to this video saying that I'm cheating because this doesn't work. Make sure you remember to do it in a fight. A lot of people get stressed and they either, like I said, overcompensate or they forget to compensate at all and they just let their gun do it all. That's usually not going to work out for you. So make sure you remember it. So say it with me, slightly down, slightly down, small amount. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, I would repeat out loud multiple times anything I felt like I needed to remember for a test. So just treat this that way and you'll remember and you'll see instant improvement. Now, this was a quicker video than usual, so I'm just going to show you guys my settings real quick and then stay tuned for the shoutouts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here are my controller settings. I'm going to run through them real quick. I don't want to waste anyone's time. So I'm on controller. Obviously, my button layout is default, but if you want to play on tactical for drop shotting setting, that's a great option too. Controller vibration being off is huge. If you leave that on, it actually can affect your ability to control the recoil because there's just some random thing shaking in your hand while you're trying to be very precise. So make sure to turn that off. Even if you enjoy it being on, it's honestly, if you're trying to be a better player, you're going to need to turn it off. Your stick sensitivity is whatever you prefer. I like 8. Also, a lot of people are curious about these settings for me. These are what I run: auto tac sprint, you know, sprint, zoom, whatever, all that good stuff. You guys see it right here. Prioritize interact. I'm like one of the only people who runs that as well. And apply one. A lot of people run apply all. So it's all personal preference for this section. But moving over, this is where I say there's some specific things that you should definitely try. In my previous video, I mentioned Black Ops aim assist and dynamic response curve type being incredibly overpowered. A lot of people got some wrong information. They said they heard it was nerfed. It was nerfed in a patch months ago, and it turns out the nerf was very, very small. So don't worry about it. It's still broken. You can use default if you like, though. I think that's more of a placebo. Dynamic has to be the aim response curve type for you. Instant for your ADS sensitivity transition timing. This is huge. Do not have this on anything besides instant, please. Also, this is the main thing here. To fix your recoil control, a big thing is the custom sense per zoom. So here's what I run. I run 0.8 on pretty much, well, actually I run it on everything now. Previously, as early as I think last night or the night before, I had these higher zooms on 0.9 because I like to be a bit snappier with the sniper. But if you go look at the gameplay on my second channel, link in the description, I could not hit a shot with the sniper, so I lowered them and it worked out. And a lot of times that's all it is, bro. You just have to, you know, mess with your settings until they feel comfortable for you. And a lot of people don't do that. They expect to be great right off the bat. Here's my dead zones just to give you guys an idea. Again, I have a pretty much brand new controller. This is what I run. Obviously, controller orientation up. Gyro behavior off. This is only on PC, but if you are on PC, make sure you turn that off. Moving down, you can go ahead and copy all these settings. None of these are particularly needed for like aiming and things like that. However, a few of these are, in my opinion, important as far as movement and things like that go, including this one right here. So make sure you change these. But again, a lot of these are still preference. Make sure you have ADS stick swap off. Don't accidentally turn that off. You will be so confused when you're aiming. And get into the last couple settings. You guys go ahead and copy those. All right, let's get into the shoutouts. So a lot of you guys know the drill by now. A huge way to support the channel. Go down below, click share, and copy the link. You don't even actually have to send it to anyone. Just hitting the share button really helps boost my channel in YouTube's algorithm. It's a free way to support me, and in return, I like to give you guys a shout out by showing everyone who commented the word shared after they shared the video. And a few guys like Toxic Shooter, Uncle AP, Cryptic, Chemical, Casanova, guys who keep coming back and supporting my channel video after video. You guys are the best. You guys are the reason I'm able to continue putting so much time and effort in. I've actually just recently transformed my other channel, which I had for NBA content. I turned it into my second channel. It's titled Rehtycs Retreat. The link's gonna be in the description of every video. And the first video actually just went live. And now it's not a second channel like you would think where I just post throwaways. I just edited a video for about 5 hours to open up the channel. So if you guys want to support me, the link will be on the screen here at the end of the video. Or in the description. You guys can go take a look at that video and let me know any feedback you may have. But with that being said, guys, Warzone Ranked comes out in a few days. This will probably be my last post on here until then. But boys, we are going crazy with the content and I can't wait. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys soon. I've been Rehtycs. Peace.